All right, this is the Real Talk Sports Show, and we're on the line with Jesse Peterson, the New England fight champion, middleweight champion. How you doing, Jess?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
So, Jess, even though you're not on this card, I wanted to get you on and just talk to you about your MMA career and let the people know more about you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. And also, one of my teammates from South Shore Sport Fighting, he is actually coming up, Brandon Fleming, to fight Des Green. So I'm going to be cornering Brandon, and I'm actually very much a part of this show, even though I'm not fighting on the card. Like I said, with Brandon, and then several of my other teammates are fighting too, and it's been fun helping them get ready. And Brandon stepping in when Jamie had to pull out. Brandon's a gamer, so it's good. I'm still very much involved with this show. It was just until recently that they couldn't find opponents weren't lining up and things didn't work out. So
cool. So, quick question. So, how did you get into MMA and fighting in general?
Well, I got into MMA. I had my first pro fight back in 2006 at the Verizon Center, and that was for reality fighting. My wrestling coach in college was Mike Thomas Brown, former WEC champ, and when I was wrestling at USM, Mike had only had, I believe, 2 fights at that time. He was just starting his career. After my second year at USM, my grades went into the crapper, and I was ineligible. And my buddy Mike, who I became friends with, he took me under his wing and basically got me into the whole grappling thing. Again, that would have been in 2003 and 4, and I wanted to fight, but basically I wasn't able. After Mike moved to American Top Team, I kind of got out of it a little bit. But the fire, I lit that fire back up, and everything worked out great. And I had a fight back in 2006. Was my first pro fight.
Very cool, very cool. So what actually motivated you to step into the ring? Did you just wanted to test your mettle, or you wanted to make some money? What made you want to actually step into the ring and get bodily harm done to you?
Basically, just my competitive nature. I've wrestled since I was in second grade, and I just loved to compete. And I was crushed when I couldn't wrestle anymore. And fighting was a way for me to just keep competing.
Cool.
I started to, having my first pro fight from 6 years ago. I was fighting when people had never even heard of MMA. I don't do it for the fame or the little celebrity thing that comes along with it. I fight just because it's something that keeps me level in life. It's something that keeps me motivated to do good things and work hard and be a good father. And I think that's a lot. I have different motives for fighting. Fighting is what keeps me going. It's what gives me, it's my purpose. And I don't go out there with any malicious thoughts or anything when I go into the cage. I just want to go out and do what I do, and that's compete. I love to compete.
Exactly. That's good to hear. You spoke about your family. What does your family think of you stepping into the octagon? What do you do?
Could you repeat that question again? I'm sorry.
Sure. What did your family think of you stepping into the octagon?
Well, I have a brother, and basically my brother Matt, he is the reason why MMA is legal in the state of Maine. He is my brother's a district representative, and he was the backer of the bill. My brother's in a wheelchair. My brother is like an inspiration of mine, and basically it was a team thing. We helped each other a lot, and now he's promoting his own shows and everything. My father and mother, they don't really have much to do with it.
Do they like you getting into the ring?
Excuse me?
Do they like the idea of you stepping into the ring, or are they cautious of it?
Yeah, well, my mother's never been crazy about it. She watched me wrestle my whole life, but she's never watched me fight. And my father, that's a tough question. They just don't really. There's not a lot of dynamics in regards to that. They don't. They just kind of feel indifferently about it, I guess. They don't say much.
That's kind of understandable. There, you talk about your son stepping into the ring and with 3-pound gloves fighting it out. I'm sure they're cautious and they want you to be safe.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they do worry about my health and everything like that, but I guess at the end of the day, they know, they see how hard I train, and like myself, I wish it was golf or something that kept me normal, but it just happens to be fighting that gives me that balance in life, and it's just done so much. There's so many positive things that it's brought into my life, and I am grateful for that in the sport.
So what would you consider your fighting style?
My decision, what
would you consider your fighting style?
Well, I'm a wrestler. And I've been a wrestler. I started wrestling in 2nd grade, and then I got into the jiu-jitsu, and I'm actually a really good, and my jiu-jitsu's come a long way. I beat some tough guys at the grappling tournaments. I've been working a lot on my striking also, and but yeah, when you boil it down to the nitty-gritty, I'll always go back to my bread and butter, and that being grappling and wrestling. But also, I do train the other areas, but I guess there's no denying that I am a wrestler, and it's hard to, that's always going to be my mentality going out there, but I also am coming a long way with my jiu-jitsu. As I finished Cody, with I've got several submission victories. In the latest being Cody Lightfoot, who I choked out at the end of that 2nd round. I'm just comfortable.
Would you say that do you pattern your style against someone else, or do you emulate your game with another fighter?
My game versus another fighter.
Do you emulate yourself akin to anyone else? Do you have a favorite fighter that you pattern your game?
Oh, absolutely. Dan Henderson, hands down, is my favorite fighter. Dan Henderson. There's a little paradox here, I guess, that'll come to life. It'll be announced with my next opponent on the 17th of November. But
well, I can see Dan Henderson as someone you pattern your game against. Good big right hand.
Big right hand, yeah. Big right hand.
Background.
Yeah, wrestling background, and also this year I fought at 185, a 95 catch weight. I fought at 205, and in April I fought at super heavyweight, 265. Artie Mullen, he weighed about 100 pounds more than me, Artie Mullen, and at Fight Night 2 in Biddeford. So, and Dan Henderson was the same way. He'd fight guys bigger than him at the drop of a dime, you know, and that's why he's a gamer, and that's just how I am also.
Okay. Are you scared are you scared or excited when you fight in your hometown? Like you fought back in Fort in Biddeford, and last 2 months you fought back in Fort in Lewiston. Are you scared or excited when you fight in Maine?
Oh, I mean, there's of course, I have a big following, and you believe me, they're not all friends of mine. I got a lot of people that come probably that say they're friends to my face that just come to watch me lose. Hopefully, you know, like, I'm just an exciting fighter. I think, you know, all around. I'm just fun to watch. You know, I might not be the light of the party, you know. I'm all right, you know. I'm not the coolest dude, you know, but I do make an exciting fight. I don't think anyone can really deny that. There's never a dull moment in my fights, and even the losses that I had were exciting fights. So I come to fight, and basically, I have like I said, a huge crowd up here that follows me, and there's a little bit of like extra stress that comes just because I got hundreds of drunk buddies coming up and hugging me and spilling beer on me and stuff, you know, before the fights. But ultimately, I love Maine. I love the state of Maine, and I love everyone that comes to support me. It's just it's an amazing thing, and I'm so humbled by it. And at the end of the day, you know, no matter how many gallons of beer I've had spilled and how red my back is from buddies slapping me high, you know, on the back, you know, telling me they love me.
It's not on purpose.
What's that?
It's not on purpose.
No, they. I love it up here, and the anxiety and stuff. It all comes in full circle at the end of the match because they're there behind me, win or lose, and I definitely love fighting in Maine. That's for sure.
So now when you fought many opponents, do you care about who your opponent is, or do you?
I've never turned an opponent down. My brother was my manager for the longest time, and even on my third pro fight, he came at me and he said they want you to fight Nate Kittredge for a belt in reality fighting. Who Nate was 6-0 at the time, ranked number 1 in New England, and a personal friend of mine. We wrestled in college, and I took the fight and hands down because that's one thing I am proud to say, that I've never turned a fight down. So there's no one that I'd be scared. I want to fight the best.
Do you do homework on your opponents, or do you more focus on your skills when you're training?
Well, that's a funny. I got a funny answer for that with that question, because I have my teammates do a lot of the research, because for some reason it stresses me out a little bit when I watch video on my opponent. I usually rely on my teammates to watch the video, and then therefore they can relay every. I watch tape, of course, but it's not something I'm crazy about, because I get worked up sometimes, and ultimately you can watch a video of a guy fighting and it can play tricks on you. You know, he can look like an animal out there when he's really just one of your average guys, or probably even a scrub fighting a total scrub, you know, and look like a stud.
Right.
So, you know, but of course I definitely study up on my opponents, and I know what to expect usually when I'm going in there, and I can make adjustments if necessary.
So, what do you do when you're not fighting and or training?
Well, I work full time. I'm a framer, building a $3 million home with one of my old wrestling coaches right now, so I work full time. I'm finishing my college up right now. I have 3 classes left to take. I'm taking 1 now, 2 in the spring. I have a daughter that is 4 years old that is just everything to me, and then of course I love to hunt and do all those things that hillbillies up here in Maine do. I just try to get back a little bit nowadays as opposed to, taking before. I've been short a lot, and I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for everyone I have, everyone, all my coaches and teammates. I'm just grateful.
All right, again, I gotta thank you for coming on and coming on the show and helping us out.
Oh well, no, I really appreciate you guys taking the time, and seeking me out, and I appreciate the support. And basically, there's going to be some big things happening here in my career coming up over the next couple months, and it'll be interesting, to see how all that pans out, because I'm a dangerous fighter right now. 10 times more dangerous than when I started. This is what I do, and this is what's keeping me focused, and I'm going to be a nightmare for whoever I'm in the cage with.
Here's the last question then here for you. What would be your ideal fight? Fighting in the Romans times in the Pantheon, or maybe fighting Pride in the Pride stages when Pride was big, and fighting over in Japan? Which one would you take? I'd
say I was born a couple hundred years later than I should have been. I like the way they did things back in the olden days at the Colosseum. I like the I just, if you're referring to movies like Gladiator and those types of things.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that, and one of my all-time, something on my bucket list is to fight an underground bare-knuckle fight. I just want to do it once. I just love the sport, and basically it excites. And yeah, those guys, the Spartans, those guys, those were fighters. Nowadays, you've got guys pulling out of fights. You got guys fighting for all the wrong reasons, and those guys fought because they had to. And I kind of feel the same way in my life. I'm fighting for my life, and that's all it boils down to.
Jess, again, thanks for coming on the show. Great interview, and let the people know where to find you if you got a website or email or whatever.
Well, I mean, under Facebook, Jesse Peterson MMA, JESSE PETRSON, Jesse Peterson MMA, and www.rumfordhardcore.com. I guess that's a website for me. But yeah, hit me up on Facebook, and I'll keep everyone updated on the big things that are going to be happening.
Again, thanks a lot again for coming on Real Talk Sports, and we'll see you Saturday night cornering your guys.
Absolutely. I look forward to it, and thank you guys again for taking the time to interview me.